thankful to have this second opportunity to visit with singer, songwriter, and pianist Gordon Mote, one of the most sought-after recording studio session players for Christian, gospel, and country artists in Nashville, where he lives. And I'm going to say, go ahead, Gordon, name drop a little bit.
Oh.
Whose albums would you be helping out with in recent years?
I play a lot of the country albums, as you mentioned, Rascal Flatts, Carrie Underwood, Trace Adkins, Joe Nichols, Darius Rucker, a lot of Brad Paisley, a lot of stuff that you might know. I was just telling you off air, I'm currently producing a new album on one of your favorite sons up here, Paul Brandt. Paul and I have been friends for a long time.
Fabulous.
And I've worked with him several times, and I've been trying to get him to do a hymns album, real acoustic hymns album, and so he finally had some time in his schedule to give that a go, and it's really awesome to work with him and his precious wife, and they've got 2 kids now, and they're just a sweet family.
Right. Now, you know, when he was here last in the studio, they didn't have any children. So they're counting their blessings in a hurry.
Yes, they are.
Speaking of which, on the Count Your Blessings Gaither Gospel Series CD, we see you right behind Bill's head. Can you see that? At about, would I say 3 o'clock?
Yes.
Sitting at the keyboard. You've been touring and playing with them for 4 years?
Yeah. After Anthony passed away, and it was so surprising to everybody. I mean, just, you know, something like that you never expect. And I remember talking to Kimberly the night we found out, and I said, I feel sorry for whoever has to take his place.
Oh.
Who knew? But I had known Bill for several years from the studios and whatnot, because I'd played on, you know, a lot of the Gaither Vocal Band albums. And Bill had really been trying to help me in my solo career, because it had started a year before that. And I had been out on several concert dates with them. And so a couple of months after all that went down, he called me and he said, man, you've been out with us a few times. You think you would enjoy doing this? And I said, man, I think so. Absolutely. He said, well, let's do it for a while. And if you like it and we like it, then we'll do it. And so 4 years later, we're still together and having a great time.
Some great stories, and I want to get to those. But you know, somebody's watching today that is meeting you for the first time, and we haven't had a chance to tell your remarkable story. Gordon, you were born in Alabama, born blind, totally blind, and I'm sure that must have been a shock for your mom and dad initially.
It was. You know, my mom told me after that, of course, as I became an adult and started thinking about having children of my own, she told me, you know, when I was born, a lot of her friends and neighbors, you know, kind of felt sorry for her and kind of told her, you know, we'll be praying that everything, you know, goes well and you'll be able to cope. And Mom said, but you know, I just, you know, I knew they meant well. She said, but I just knew that God had a plan for you. She said, I just claimed Jeremiah 29:11 over your life, and just said,
I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord.
Plans to give you hope and a future. And Mom said, you know, those promises in the Bible are meant for us to claim. And she said, so I knew we would go through some tough times and some challenging things. She said, but you and your brother both were, you know, willing to try anything, and so we let you try anything. And Mom and I still have a really close relationship. Mom and Dad were always there for us, always encouraged us, and you know, just told us we could do anything, so we believed it.
Thanksgiving Day. How precious is this story?
Yeah.
You were 3 years old, and you had a gift for your parents. It must have stunned them.
Mom said that when people heard the piano and they walked in because they wanted to know who was playing, she said you could have heard a pin drop. She said nobody really knew what to say, because what they saw was a little bitty 3-year-old who could barely reach the keys sitting on a piano bench playing Jesus Loves Me.
With 2 hands.
And I think it's really fitting too that the song Jesus Loves Me, I mean, that's the simplest gospel message there is. At the end of the day, you hear a lot of sermons and hear a lot of songs, but Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. It don't get any simpler than that.
Where did it come from? I mean, do you remember that moment at the age of 3?
No, I don't. But I love to tell the story. It gives me a chance to brag on God, because only God could cause a 3-year-old to sit down and play. I mean, I've got a 3-year-old, and if he ever did that, they'd have to take me to the hospital. You know?
Oh, let's show a picture of your family right now. Your beautiful wife and 3 children.
Yeah, 14, 10, and 3. So proud of them.
What a blessing. Now, this obviously wasn't a flash in the pan. It wasn't just a little serendipity. You went on to, I want to say first, to be one of the first blind students in the United States to go into the public school system.
Yes, ma'am.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Band captain of an award-winning high school marching band.
Yes, ma'am.
Band captain right here. And then a full scholarship to Jacksonville State U in Alabama. You transferred to Belmont University in Nashville.
Right.
Pretty significant, because I think that's where you met your wife, Kimberly.
Yes, that was, you know, an education is all fine, but that's where I met Kimberly, so that was the best thing that happened to me at Belmont, for sure.
And then graduating with a music degree, honors graduate. Wow.
It's a pretty crazy ride, but God's put me in some great places and allowed me to do some really cool things.
2 days after graduating? How about that? 2 days after your grad?
Yeah.
Who hired you?
Lee Greenwood, who's very popular in the States, and actually pretty popular up here too, as I recall. We've been, the first time I ever came to Canada for any length of time was a tour with Lee Greenwood. We played London, Ontario, and we played several different places around, and he had written a second verse to God Bless the USA called God Bless You Canada. And boy, the fans loved that, and we met some wonderful people up here. I'll never forget it. First time I ever came was with him.
Well, you've had multiple nominations for the Academy of Country Music Award Musician of the Year. Your solo career launched in 2005 with If You Could Hear What I See, Dove Award nominated for Instrumental Album of the Year. What does that mean? If you could hear what I see.
Well, you know, people ask me all the time, how can you sing songs? I had a song on an album a couple of years ago called Don't Let Me Miss the Glory. And when we do that in concert, we show a lot of video just of God's creation. And if you listen to the lyric of the song, even without hearing the video, you can imagine all of this creation that's all around us that we can sense with all of our senses. And I had a lady just the other day ask me, how can you sing about things you've never seen? But the fact is, I do see them in my own way, and I wish, as much as I wish I could see them the way you do, even more I wish you could see things from my perspective, because all of the other senses, it's so amazing what God has for all of us, all around us, just to smell the changing of the seasons in the air. You know, I talk about things that sighted people are like, man, I've never even noticed that before. So I wish people could see it from my perspective.
Well, Gordon, I want to say for the past 6 years, you've been nominated Piano Keyboard Player of the Year by the Academy of Country Music. You finally nailed it. You got the honor in 2009. We're so blessed to have you up here for this fall season. We're going to be hearing your music. And just, I have to ask very quickly, I watch Bill Gaither in these homecoming events get up at the end of a song and just signal a reprise. Like, let's just do that one more round. How do you know to do it one more round?
Well, a lot of times, I mean, I kind of know his tendencies, you know, because I've been with him for a while, and I kind of know if a song, if it's really going well, or if there's a sweet spirit, you know, or if there's, I kind of know his tendencies. But also, I wear in-ear monitors, and I have a couple of people that tell me what's going on and the signals that he's given. But a lot of times he'll just come over and kind of pat me on the shoulder, and different pats mean different things. Yeah. So we have our own system, and it seems to be working for us.
It's a great family. We're glad to have them all kind of around here this month.
No doubt.
We'll be talking and singing and seeing more of you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.